I have dedicated my professional career to the study and control of arthropods.
Hello. This is a video on some thoughts of mine on gay marriage. But before I start this, I'm gonna read you a list. This is a list of 12 statements that have been made publicly. Okay, and I want just listen to the statements. I'm gonna try to go through them quickly. Try not to think about them too much. Just listen to the statements, and I'll explain at the end why I'm reading this list. So, statement number 1. Same-sex marriage must be forbidden, said a Republican senator from Wisconsin, simply because natural instinct revolts it as wrong. Okay. Statement number 2. An organization opposed to gay marriage claimed legalizing them would result in a degraded and ignoble population incapable of moral and intellectual development, and rested this belief on the natural superiority upon which God has ennobled heterosexuals. Number 3. I believe that the tendency to classify all persons who oppose gay marriage as prejudiced is in itself a prejudice, grumped a noted psychologist. Nothing of any significance is gained by such a marriage. Statement number 4. A U.S. representative from Georgia declared that allowing gay marriage necessarily involves the degradation of conventional marriage, an institution that deserves admiration rather than execration. Number 5. The next step will be that gays and lesbians will demand a law allowing them, without restraint, to have a free and unrestrained social intercourse with your unmarried sons and daughters, warned a Kentucky congressman. It is bound to come to that. There is no disguising this fact, and the sooner the alarm is given that the people take heed, the better it will be for our civilization. Number 6. When people of the same sex marry, they cannot possibly have any progeny, wrote an appeals judge in a Missouri case, and such a fact sufficiently justifies those laws which forbid their marriage. Statement number 7. Same-sex marriages are abominable according to Virginia law. If allowed, they would pollute America. Number 8. In denying the appeal of a same-sex couple that had tried unsuccessfully to marry, a Georgia court wrote that such unions are not only unnatural, but always productive of deplorable results. Such an increased effeminate behavior in the population, they are productive of evil, and evil only, without any corresponding good, in accordance with the God of nature. Statement number 9. As gay marriage ban is not discriminatory, a gay marriage ban is not discriminatory, reasoned a Republican congressman from Illinois, because it applies equally to men and women. Number 10. Attorney for the state of Tennessee argued that such unions should be illegal because they are distasteful to our people and unfit to produce the human race. The state Supreme Court agreed, declaring gay marriages would be a calamity full of the saddest and gloomiest portent to the generations that are to come after us. Number 11. Lawyers for California insisted that a ban on same-sex marriage is necessary to prevent traditional marriage from being contaminated by the recognition of a relationship that is physically and mentally inferior and entered into by the dregs of society. And number 12. The law concerning marriage is to be construed and understood in relation to those persons only to whom that law relates, thundered a Virginia judge in response to a challenge to that state's non-recognition of same-sex unions. And not, he continued, to a class of persons clearly not within the idea of the legislature when contemplating the subject of marriage. All right, so now there's a twist to that. I read you 12 statements against gay marriage. There's a twist. You want to hear the twist? Bruce Willis was dead the entire movie, okay? Like, you didn't know he was dead, but there were clues. Oh wait, that's not the twist. The twist is that not one of those statements is actually about gay marriage. This was from an article. Let's see here. Let me get the citation correct. I have it up here. It's online. I'll put a link to it. It is oh crapola, man. Here we go. It is by Eric Zorn from 1996, the Chicago Tribune. And every single one of those statements is about interracial marriage. Zorn substituted interracial for gay marriage. He substituted For male and female, he substituted substituted male and female for black and white. Every single one of those statements is an actual written public statement made about why interracial marriage should be against the law. Those of you, intelligent audience, recognize those exact, almost word-for-word arguments. However, I'm sure when I was reading them, you said, "Oh yeah, I've heard that before." Because when I read this the first time, it was in a book called "Why Marriage Matters," which is, I'll put a link up to it. I don't have the citation here currently. It's a great book. But when I was reading that, I was reading this and going, I don't know why he listed all of these 12 statements. I mean, they're currently in the news. So I don't know why he felt like he needed to list all of these things. And then I got to the end where he revealed the big secret that they were all from the anywhere from I think it was 1936 to 1970, I believe it was. I have to check the date. But they're all actual statements that were made about why black and white people should not be allowed to marry. And what this tells me is that these focus on the family, right to marriage people, all these other anti-gay marriage groups out there aren't even coming up with their own material. In fact, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to find that a good number of their leadership were the same people that said or supported these things. They just know it's their bread and butter. As long as they keep everybody outraged about something that's traditional, they got to keep something traditional. They're going to keep on saying it, and they don't care. They just went through their little sermons and said, "Ooh, let's cross out black. We'll put homosexual." They could care less that they're recycling an old, tired, stupid argument. And there are those out there on YouTube who like to point out that there's no connection between racial issues, civil rights, and gay marriage issues and gay rights, that they're completely separate realms that have no connection. Of course, we all know that is a crazy idea. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this out there. I found this. I had read this book a while ago, and I found the list online and the original article in the Chicago Tribune. It's actually the article that he reprinted this in Chicago Tribune, October 29th, 2008. And again, I'll put a link up to it, and I'll probably put this whole list up just because it's fun. You can share it with your friends. All right, take care.